Good morning, YouTube. Heather's Homestead here. Just an April update. It seems like spring is taking forever to get to us here on the East Coast. It's like warm one day, it was 70s yesterday. Today it's like 45, 50. Just wanted to do a little update and show you what my garden, this is my husband's garden. He does the Back to Eden garden with all of the mulch on top. So this mulch has been on here for 2 years now, and he just spreads the mulch aside and plants in the mulch, and then he doesn't have to weed. But I like to till my garden, so he's over there doing that right now. These are the strawberry beds that we put together last year with cinder blocks and went to the local dump and got compost for $10 for a pickup truck load and filled them with compost and planted strawberries in them that I ordered from Starks Brothers. They're all doing great. When I got that load of mulch I had posted earlier in the year, I think I got it in the wintertime, as soon as the snow melted, I put the mulch on these and they just popped right through. So all of those are coming up in the beds. Those are my 2 asparagus beds. Nothing, or I think I saw one. Oh gosh, I see much more now. Yesterday there was one. I think I see more than one now. Let's see. Nope, still just the one. One little asparagus just now starting. Nope, here's another one. 1, 2, starting to pop up. This asparagus bed, we're going to have to lengthen it and take it all the way out there. It's just definitely not enough. My husband planted this whole side of the garden. We did straight sow cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, spinach, lettuce, kale, chard, all of those directly into the ground. We tried a new approach. A lot of times we plant the broccoli and the cauliflower and the cabbage by plant that we get from an Amish place, and we wanted to try just putting the seeds in the ground and seeing how they did, because you never know in the future if those places are going to be available to you to get plants from, and we didn't get them started in the greenhouse early enough, so we just put them directly into the ground. If they don't pop up in the next couple of weeks, we will go to the Amish place and buy some. On this trellis, this is just a cattle panel that we have between the 2 cinder block strawberry beds. We have peas planted on both sides that my husband just put in last week, and they're starting to pop up. And then we're just going to trellis them and they'll grow up and around. We did morning glories on these last year, and it was pretty, but it was a waste of growing space, so we decided to put peas on there. We have lima beans on one side planted and green beans on this other cattle panel planted. Another strawberry bed. Here's the first strawberry bed we ever did, and it's not doing as good as the other ones. This didn't have the compost in it, so I don't know what's the deal with that. I think the compost really made a big difference. There's the 2 little dairy goats. Back here we finally kicked the chickens and the ducks out of the garage, and they are now, I hope the wind isn't too much for you guys, they are all now living in the other side of this rabbit hutch. The male rabbit is in here. The female is in here. We have them separated because I'm not ready for them to breed yet. I'm going to give them 2 more weeks. This is when I want them to breed, because I want these guys to be able to be out of here, and then I want to be able to put the male back into his side as soon as they're done mating. So there's 4 ducks, and they grow really fast. I think they're Pic'ns, but I'm not sure. They grow really, really fast. They're the same exact age as the chicks, and you can see how much bigger they are. Hopefully these ducks are 3 females and 1 male, but if I have more than 1 male, I will be taking that male to a local duck pond and releasing it. We did that last year, had no problems. They just kind of integrated themselves with the ducks that were already there, and there was no problem at all. There was no fighting, there was no, they weren't ostracized, they just integrated very quickly with the other ducks. So if we have multiple males, they will be going. I don't want several males. There's Fern, the dairy goat. She's already gotten much bigger. When we got her from the Amish place, she was very hippie. I know dairy animals are, but she was very hippie, like very, very thin. She probably still looks it to you, but I can tell a big difference when I feel around her hip bones. I wormed them both as soon as I got them home. Here's the greenhouse that my husband built last year. This design is from Texas Prepper 2. It's built with cattle panels. The door it needs to be reworked. Inside the greenhouse, it's very warm. I have a bunch of stuff planted. Nothing's come up yet. Hopefully soon. Tomatoes, peppers. I have a couple tomatoes over there I bought from the Amish place where we got the goats. So this is, I think this is an awesome greenhouse for those who don't know how to build, such as my husband and myself. We're learning, but this is an easy way to do it. You just frame out along the bottom a rectangle that's going to give you the height that you want of the cattle panels when you bend them. And you just bend them and hammer them into the frame and then cover it with plastic, and that's it. I love this greenhouse. It works very well, actually. So we're waiting for things to pop up in there. Nothing yet. This backfield is doing really good. I reseeded it last year with just orchard grass and some alfalfa, not much alfalfa, and it's doing pretty well. Husband homesteader is I think he already did. He planted all root vegetables, carrots, parsnips, beets, what else? Turnips. I forget what else he was planting over here. I don't know. He has a garden book that he puts it all in. See, there's not very many weeds. Even in the heat of the summer, the weeds are much less in this back to Eden gardening method where you do deep mulch. It really needs some more mulch in here, but the trees are doing great. Even though it's been a cold spring, they're doing great. The blackberries have not started budding yet at all, but the raspberries have. This is a tiny little raspberry patch that I have here. So they're all flowering or leafing out already. This one is slower. And then this is an apple tree. Most of my things I got from Stark's Brothers. This is a Honeycrisp that's leafing out. And this is a Brayburn. It's about 5'5" or so. That's how tall I am. So this tree's 5'5". Another Honeycrisp. I hope the wind isn't too much for you guys. Another Brayburn. And then this nectarine looks beautiful, doesn't it? These are the trees that I had the problems with leaf curl last year, and we treated them with a sulfur and copper spray and an anti-fungal, because the leaf curl is a fungal illness. So we treated them with that before anything started to grow, when the trees were still dormant. So I'm hoping that has helped. Here's a tiny little cherry tree. I don't know how well this tree is going to do. It's a van. It's very small and it's slow to grow, so I don't know what the deal is with that tree. This, I think, is a nectarine as well. Let me see. I think my tag's ripped off. This is a nectarine, or no, this is a cherry. Sorry, I put 3 cherries together. This is a cherry. This one's doing much better, as you can see. Another cherry. In some of my videos, I explained how to chop off your trees so that it will encourage lower limbs to branch out. As you can see, this is going to be a branch. This is 2, and this is 2. So I'm going to have a lower canopy for my fruit to be growing closer to the ground and easier for us to pick. If you just let them go, you know, the limbs were all the way starting up here. So as the tree grows, your limbs are going to be much higher than you can reach. So if you chop at the knee or a little bit higher, you'll encourage more limb growth below that part where you cut, and you'll have a lower canopy. Here's a peach tree. This one looks beautiful. It's open in the middle. You want the inside of your peach tree to be open like a bowl for good airflow. Lots and lots of flowers. I hope that means lots of peaches this year. Another peach tree. I tried to get all of my varieties to ripen at different times, so there's always something coming in. At least the best that I could. You know, the peaches, they're only like over 2 months, but I tried to spread them out so that the ones that I got were only over 2 months, but I tried to spread them out as far as possible. I think I did get some other ones that were outside of that range. This is a pear. I think it's an Asian pear. It's a tiny one I planted last year. Another pear. That one's really tall. The pears take off. Really, really tall. 10 foot tall. That one's going to need to be cut. I know my husband's not happy about that height. He wants them all at like 7 foot. Another pear. That one's got like a weird... That's going to be a weak spot. It's got like a weird growing thing there, but we'll see. This is an Asian pear. And my husband said that these are all fruiting spurs. I could be wrong. He could be wrong, but so hopefully that we'll have fruit if they flower this year. This is an apple tree. Not doing much because apples are later to ripen in the year, like September, October, November, so they're later to bloom as well. This one is, let me see what this one is. An apricot. That one's really tall too. An apple. This apple is just beautiful. I love the shape of this tree. And they're just now starting to leaf out. And I think my husband saw a flower. Maybe. Maybe not. Yes, here. A flower. Beautiful. Another apple. Gosh, it's chilly today. This weather is like crazy. This apple's not doing anything. I mean, it's alive, but it's slow to grow. Over here, let me think. I'm trying to think of what this is. This should be a plum. Maybe not. I need to get tags on my trees. I have a garden book that documents every blueberry, every tree, every row of fruit, all the blackberries, blueberries, raspberries, everything, and what breed they are, specimen they are. So I need to get out here and get them on the trees because I like to be able to look and see what's what. This one is a Husani pear, an Asian pear, that go for $2 for $5 in the grocery store. So you'll have, if you plant something like this, have a very expensive fruit in your yard. This is a peach tree, open center, like a bowl. You want it open. See, we cut it right there. You can see where it was cut. This was last year. And look, or 2 years ago, and see all the branches that grew from where we cut? Right underneath it's sprouted all new branches, so it's a much lower branch canopy for the fruit, especially for little kids to get to. This one, same thing. That's where we cut, and you can see that right under that where all the branches are coming up. Some kind of cocoon. Don't want that on there. Another peach tree. Can you tell I love peaches? They're my favorite. This one, let's see, this one is, I hope I'm not going too fast, is is Royalton Sweet Cherry from Stark's Brothers. Again, same thing. Cut here, branches all came below the cut. I know it's scary when you get your trees from the nursery and they're already 5 or 6 foot tall and you're so excited. This one's I'm not thrilled with. I don't know what the deal is. This is what is this one? A black gold. He was cut here. He did put out a limb, but I'm not seeing much growth on this tree, and I'm not happy with it. This is all new growth this year. This is a gold sweet cherry from Stark's Brothers. That one's growing good. This is a plum. They grow very vigorous. Plums and peaches. They grow very well. And this is a plum cot, an apricot plum variety hybrid. It's already flowering. It's very exciting. Just wish it would warm up some so my pasture seed would germinate. Down here at the roadside I have blueberries planted that are just now starting to green up. They might bud soon. Oh, this one's got a leaf. Yep, they're starting. And since these aren't underneath the pine trees like all of the other ones are, I add pine needles to all of these several times throughout the year to bring the pH way down. Here's the bee box. No bees in it. Was late ordering bees again, so I won't get them for another 2 weeks, I think. But as late as the spring is, that might be okay. All along next to the driveway, I went and got these at Walmart last year. They were selling them for clearance after Easter. They're hyacinth and tulips. There was like 6 or 8 in a little round container, you know, for Mother's Day or for Easter. And I just got them and divided them out and planted them all along here, and they all came up beautiful. And behind that is blueberries. So there's all the blueberries. They're starting to come alive again. I think there was maybe 2 blueberries that didn't make it. Two roosters in there do not like each other. A friend of mine ordered pawpaws, so we're going to plant them back in here against the fence line. 2 pawpaw trees. They're native to this area. Indians used to use them, used to eat them. They're easy to grow, apparently. They take a while for the fruit to start to be produced, but that's okay. The best time to put your orchard in, or your fruit trees in, was 10 years ago. So if you're thinking about doing it, and you're watching this video, do it now. Order now. If you can find a place, Stark's Brothers, see if they can still send you fruit trees. They might still have fruit trees that are dormant, that they can send them to you right now. That's the best time. Get them in. I wish we would have done that when we moved here. That's one of the biggest mistakes we did, was waiting. We waited 5 years before planting anything. And if we would have done it when we first got here, all of our trees would already be giving us fruit. So that was my update for today. Going to get into the garden and plant some seed potatoes that we had from last year that we didn't eat and they seeded out. We're just going to reuse those and plant a couple of other things in my garden, and my husband's going to plant out his garden. And that is it for today. I hope everyone's having a blessed Wednesday. I hope it's warmer where you are. See you for now.